This is breaking news. Texas farmers are sounding the alarm on this tariff war. And in more breaking news, nobody cares. Yeah, I don't know if it's just me or maybe it's some of you too, but as far as farmers sounding the alarm, I don't care. I have to admit, I don't care at all, because the last time Donald Trump was president, 100,000 farmers across the country lost their farms. Yeah. So overwhelmingly, farmers voted for this man again, knowing full well of his history the last time he was president. So from me to you, farmers, I don't care. I don't care how bad things get for you. I don't care if you lose your farm. I don't care if you... I don't care. At least I don't care to hear about it. I really don't. Because this is exactly what you voted for. And you're going to get what you voted for. You're going to get 4 more years of Donald Trump not giving a damn about farmers whatsoever. So, enjoy.
So it is a cool, wet day in Wisconsin here, and as you can see, all the cows are out on pasture because this is perfect weather for pasturing cows. They love how cool it is right now. They love the rain. It's so fun for them. Right now it's time to bring them home. You can see them starting to crowd by the gate, but they were out here for a few hours and they really enjoyed it. So let's flip around real quick. Look at them. You can see they're all the way out there. But it's time to go home now, so I'm going to open the gate and let them come out. Come on, babies. Time to go home. Come on, babies. And off they go. Ready to go home where it's nice and dry and take a nap.
I might be prosecuted for saying this, but as a Black South African, I think it's time the world knows the truth. The white Afrikaners, particularly the white farmers in South Africa, are truly in serious danger. In this country, they are not safe. They really, really, really need America's help. I know a lot of South Africans have been gaslighting the American President Donald Trump and saying that there is no such thing. But I'll be the first to admit that these guys are in serious danger. They have been targeted for years now, and it's really to the point where they are dying every single day, and the government is covering it up. Every day there's a white farmer who is being killed in South Africa, and the government is covering it up, and South Africans are silently complying. White South African farmers are in serious danger, and the only person who can help them is Donald Trump by giving them a new life and a new farm in America to work, and so that they can really, really enjoy the God-given gifts that they have of farming. When they get to America, they can freely farm as they so dearly love to do. All they really ever wanted to do is just to farm. And the pleasure they get, the only thank you they get is when they see a nation who is eating, who's healthy, who's well-fed, you know. And South Africans have constantly just bit the hand that feeds them. So if America needs them and can assist them, please support the President Donald Trump in getting the rest of the white farmers out of South Africa as soon as possible, before we have a serious humanitarian crisis on our hands. Get them out of this country as soon as possible. There are about 10,000, 100,000 that are still alive, that can be rescued. And they will definitely plow the land in America and help you make America great again by feeding the nation. They have done it so heartlessly, selflessly in South Africa, but South African people have really not been grateful. So I'm going to be prosecuted for saying this, But I sincerely hope and pray that this reaches the ears of Donald Trump so that he can come over and collect the remaining, I believe, 15,000 of them that own large parts of South African land and have been feeding us. But we constantly attack them, and we are such an ungrateful people. And if they can do better and thrive in America and farm in America and be appreciated for what they do, then please come through and save them, please. I'm sorry, South Africans, I had to take the secret out.
There's a message to Donald Trump. Hey Trump, you see all these folks behind me, all hard-working Mexican Americans? I know we all look alike to you, but these folks were born and raised here and working hard to make our economy grow. And the migrants that sometimes come alongside and work with these folks, whether it's this industry or the meatpacking or any other, they're here because they know how to work. You've never worked a day in your life, and you don't know what it takes to build this country. So you can take your work site raids that you and Tom Holman want to do and go shove them up your ass. Because at the end of the day, our economy is driven by people like this and by migrants and by so many others that simply want to come out here and come into this country and do well for themselves and their families.
So I'm a black farmer, and a lot of people are wondering why are black farmers not panicking like a lot of white farmers? Well, let me explain to you the reasons why. It's because white farmers have been handed everything to them, a lot of them. Not saying all of them, but a good bit of them. And by that I mean this, MLK even pointed out, he says, farmers in the West and the Midwest who were white, they were given land, they were given money, they were given training, they were given a lot. Whereas the black farmers weren't given anything, and the largest civil rights settlement in U.S. history is Pickford v. Glickman, where you had a class action lawsuit, bunch of black farmers all joined the lawsuit, and they won a huge settlement because the USDA was shown to be racist for decades. So because black farmers haven't been given anything, we've been learning to do without, unlike your white farmers. So when things are taken away from you, all your subsidies, all your tax breaks, guess what? You panic. Whereas we've always been going through this shit. So there's problems in privilege.
So we're shutting down our market farm. We've officially decided to close the doors to our farm store and market farm. We just notified all of our customers yesterday. That may come as a shock to you. And some of you may be like, well, why are you doing that? There's many reasons. Ultimately, it comes down to we don't feel like the time input for the return is worth it. There's only so much time in a day. I've got several other businesses that just demand my time. I'm a real estate agent, I'm a health insurance agent, and then obviously we run the Tanner Farmstead social media accounts, educating you on how to grow food. And I really want to scale that and scale these other businesses. And I really want to grow putting out more content. And to be honest, I've wrestled with this for the past couple of years. I want my content to be about homesteading and food preservation and all these other fun things that I want to do, but I haven't been able to do because I've got to put so much time into, the turn and churn market farming crops, like lettuce. And so it's just not been in line with my vision. If you got any questions or want to hear more about that decision, you can send me a direct message. I also have a YouTube video out that you can watch, me talking further about the profitability of small scale farming.
What is wrong with us? Right now, you can see live photos from Oxnard, California, where ICE is lined up by the hundreds to arrest a bunch of people that's been working in the fields 12 to 14 hours today. You said it would be criminals, the worst of the worst. And except for one MS-13, nobody has seen jack shit out of you. But you're out there with riot gear, submachine guns, armored vehicles, trying to arrest a bunch of farm workers who are so tired they can probably barely drag themselves home. What is wrong with us? The worst of the worst. Nobody's arguing about you taking criminals. Nobody. But you're out there getting a bunch of old ladies and people that have worked 12 to 14 hours a day and letting the criminals go free.
Donald Trump is calling to deport U.S. citizens who were born here. Yep, out loud, he said that maybe it's time to get rid of some of the people who were born here. Now, he's referring to criminals and people who do very bad things. I guess that doesn't apply to 34 felonies. But yes, that is where we're at here in the US today. We have a president calling for the deportation of US citizens. This comes on the heels of him visiting a migrant detention center in the Everglades that is referred to as Alligator Alcatraz, where he has said that the alligators can do their job and deal with any escapees. If that is not cruel and unusual punishment, I don't know what is. So this is what we're dealing with here in the US. We have a completely unhinged president who does not care about the Constitution whatsoever. And we are only in the first year.
And there's reports now that some farmers have 100% of their workers not showing up and they're being forced to shut down. In South Texas, they grow grapefruit, they grow oranges, lots of different citrus varieties, leafy greens, onions, potatoes, peppers. So not only are the prices of what we can get going to go up at the grocery store, but also there's going to be massive food waste if there's nobody picking these crops when they're ready to be picked. I hope MAGA likes a diet of strictly processed foods.
So the farmers in America, they lost all their workers because they got deported. And then they voted for Trump. And then they lost a lot of the grants because this guy Musk has been, cleaning out and he's taking from the poor. The farmers can't pay their bills. They're having to sell. And J.D. Vance set up a company so that he could buy farms. They're buying all the farms in America, just like they did with all the private houses. Oh, you guys are so smart. You're brilliant. You can't make this. Okay, I have positive news. Here's the positive news. Decades of proud ignorance that you've had is coming to an end. Jesus.
Over 50% of people farming in the US right now are going to retire in the next 10 years. Of those people, they own over 50% of the farmland in this country, which means what is going to happen when they retire in the next 10 years? What is going to happen to this farmland? Who is going to take their place? The amount of people coming in to take farmers' place since the 1980s has dropped dramatically. I am by no means a commercial farmer over here trying to work hundreds of acres with a tractor, but I do have nearly 7 acres of land that I am trying to work by myself with a wheelbarrow and a pitchfork. Here's a look at what I got started doing this week. I used to think you needed dozens of acres to be a farmer or turn a profit or grow the food your family needs. I am quickly learning you need less than an acre to do all of those things. I'm also not the first person to claim this. I've seen so many other farmers on here doing exactly that. If you're feeling the call to do anything like this in any way, I'm here to tell you it's not necessarily easy, but it is possible, and you only need a few acres. You only need 1 acre or a roof on a building. If you're wondering how to buy this acreage, I did it with a loan I got at Farm Credit East, not the USDA. Farm Credit is a nationwide network, and I got a loan for undeveloped farmland. There were no utilities at this land. I'm currently paying the loan back as we speak while I figure out what the heck I'm doing here.
What we've done here is establish a place where we have control over who our neighbors are, and that is just for the sake of preserving, our culture.
And that culture, effectively, we're saying this is a white culture, a whites-only place.
White American culture.
Over the last year and a half, high up in the Ozark Hills in the state of Arkansas, dozens of people have been working hard, leveling the land, building houses. They call it an intentional community based around shared ancestry, a long-winded way of saying something really quite simple.
I think we would generally be called far right Sure.
It's called Return to the Land, and they invited me in.
A lot of people are going to be, why are you making Nazi references?
Right. Well, why wouldn't I?
A seemingly bucolic and sometimes surreal experience. One with strong ties to the most active far-right groups in the US. Instead of taking to the streets, they are building their own, for generations to come.
It's important for me to do this for my ancestors, my friends, my family, my children, my children's children.
We're so beyond cooked, dog. We are fried. At the point where white people are creating their own little KKK town. Know what you think? Leave a comment down below. Make sure you follow me for more news updates like this.